This NFL Picks Week 17 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by SGPN's ultimate New Year's Eve party. Hop on our YouTube channel for a truly DGen afternoon, complete with picks, prizes, live sweats, and more. The fun starts at 12:30 Pacific, New Year's Eve.
What's up? It's the most must-see WWE superstar of all time, The Miz, and you are watching SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
How we feeling about the Hokies program going forward here? Sean?
Oh, Ryan.
How we feeling about
crowbar
Virginia
in college football into the NFL show?
We're back. The Hokies are back. And who knew how many different animated GIFs there were of drone strikes? I was just sending drone strike pictures to everyone who took. I mean, multiple people in my life took Tulane today in the cold. This is a team from New Orleans, people. Anyway, we're here to talk about the NFL.
Yes, we are here to talk about the NFL. Go to youtube.com/sportsgambling podcast. Smash that subscribe button. We're live. Chad is fired off. Scott Cotto saying you guys are in my life so often now. And yes, sir, smoking my weed.
Smoking my weed.
How many hours of live content will today be, Sean?
It's a lot, Ryan.
After this episode, for a 4 hour, like a half day shift. Punching the clock. We're gonna need a mandatory 15-minute break in between.
Yes, we almost have a real job here. The way
what are you
we are just creating content.
Don't say that too loud. Someone might hear.
Yes, and
we real to me.
We are going to be giving out all the Week 17 NFL picks. Man, a lot to get to. First off, where to go, Ryan? We have
yes.
Well, we have a lot to get to, including our Patreon pick'em came to a 4-way tie. You were in charge of coming up with the trivia for
I was.
Yes. So I will read off the winners' names, and then I think, whoever sends in the correct answer gets the prize. Now we'll see if there's multiple winners. We can take it from there if we need another question. But the 4-way tie winners are Swagger Hound, Sharks Fan SD, Papa CG4, and Mitchell Williamson and Williamson 5. They are in the SGPN Patreon Pick'em Prize 4-way tie. We got to break the tie, Ryan. What is the trivia question?
What notable female sports media member got their start shooting videos for Super Bowl? Shit, I don't have the number. Super Bowl 50 something. Hold on, I'll look it up here.
Wasn't it the national championship? I don't want to give too much of a. I remember a video that was specifically for the national championship.
I have this. I just didn't write down the goddamn Super Bowl number. Anyway, notable female member of sports media today. Female.
Briefly on our airwaves. Briefly on our I don't want to say where you could find her videos.
Worked
if you really
worked for SGPN. You could have consumed her content on our social channel. That's a fair way to put it, Sean.
All right.
And I'll tell you I was going to come up with a question from like 12 years ago, but I didn't want to be too hard on the I figured we do have a lot of fans that found us during the Sims.
Yes.
So we don't want to be unfair to them. And you're seeing how far I'm scrolling down my bookmarks to get to this. It was a couple years ago. I bookmarked these various things just to show people. Like, you don't believe me?
So that is the trivia question for Swaggerhound, Sharks fan SD, Papa, ICG4, and Mitchell Williamson. So congrats to you guys. Best of luck on the trivia question while Ryan's pulling that up. And I think last week we gave out some holiday liquor. I think since it is New Year's Eve, we run it back. We will hook you up with some more holiday liquor. So again, if you're in the Patreon pick'em, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon, get in over there and update Second Chance Survivor. I may have miscounted, Ryan, originally. Okay. I looked at the full list and there are 10 people alive in the Second Chance Survivor.
What happened?
What do you mean?
I thought we were down to like 4.
Yeah, like I said, I miscounted.
That's all right.
Because when you go to the screen, it just shows you the first. I don't know why it only was showing 5 there, but then you click. I thought it was just those first 5, but then I hit see all, and for some reason, then you see the full 10. That are alive. So Eddie Trey 33, Timmy McGee 444, Party Marty is alive and well, Jay Mason, Justin Wales, Enderser. Garrett Sneed.
I miss a time when people were less concerned about if a name might offend people. I remember some of our old contest names, not worrying about getting canceled at all.
No. So yes, there are 10 people left. Ryan, are we going to have to chop this pot because Corey Pinkston and the Barking Dog Properties $3,000 giveaway. The rule is whoever makes it through 18 weeks, we don't have and again, it's a second chance. First time ever running the Second Chance Survivor.
Yeah. You live and you learn. Yeah. I think there's going to have to be a chop, right? How else do you settle it?
Well, we don't know. I mean, do you think 10 people could get through 2 weeks?
It's that
over under number of people that make it through.
It's that time of year where there's big numbers, though. I think that's where because you like new shit has come to light. Teams you didn't expect to be catching 10 points or whatever are now catching 10 points. That would be my only concern.
I'm gonna say we end up chopping this 3 ways.
That's probably a great bet.
Which is a pretty good chop. $1,000 off a $0 entry, and you can probably take that and then use that. I hope our audience is degen enough, Ryan, to take their winnings and then parlay that into the actual Circa Millions or the Circa Survivor, because that would be the ultimate story of going from free entry to winning our Second Chance Survivor to then using that to win the Circa Survivor, like going from $0
roll it
to
over
10 million. That would be awesome. So hopefully they put it to a good cause.
It was this person got their start in the beginning of 2020 with us.
Beginning of 2020.
Yes.
So pre-pandemic.
Beginning of 2020. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
It was a different time.
Best of luck. And we'll see who has the correct answer. We will be announcing that for sure.
I mean, we've had at least a half dozen qualifying females come through our offices.
Yes.
So we'll see how quickly. What's your over under on how quickly someone gets the right answer?
I'm gonna say tomorrow afternoon. I'll get
24 hours.
Yeah,
under 24 hours.
Yeah, right. I would say so. You know, if you're really motivated, you can track it down.
And I would also point out to the Patreons that are competing here, I would like them to respond with a trivia tidbit about us of their own, so we can put it in the vault for the next one.
I like it. Lock it up in the vault.
It's like a potluck, but for trivia. All right.
Kramer, and otherwise, big announcement. Let me see if I can find some good announcement music.
We need to add I thought you were gonna go Shakira.
No, this is this Sunday, the SGPN Ultimate New Year's Eve live stream spectacular. I'm gonna call it a party. Basically, we're throwing a party over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Kicking off 12:30 p.m. Pacific. We're gonna give out some prizes. We're gonna do some live pick'ems, live best ball drafts, sweating out said pick'ems. Give out some, DGen only parlays, some live bets, some drinking games. Ryan's gonna get hammered. It's gonna be a great time.
I have included in the prize kitty will be signed autograph draft day 3 poster, signed autograph draft day 2 poster that was just discovered in my garage.
Did all the people who got the signed posters get them mailed out?
We're still working on some addresses. Last year I got it out by Halloween. I was proud of my efforts. This year, we won't get into it, but let's just say some things were packaged up and then somehow got packed up with a box that's not often open. So. And I'm not so quick to follow up on myself. This leads to that. We're on top of it now, though.
A lot of threads in the old tutor's head.
The elves have left the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Santa's sleigh is bringing you your autograph poster from August.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
But yeah.
I'm sorry. Were you a 24-hour? I'm still working off the draft
brain
damage
that
some of us are putting our body on the line.
That's why you're called a fantasy endurance athlete. Some of the people are asking, Ryan, will there be nose beers? Oh, maybe Ryan, a good excuse to break out the decaf nose beers. If you can find that jar in your garage, if there's any time to break them out, it is on the New Year's Eve live stream.
But you know what else was in the box of things that we were just trying to hide away? A couple sick water bongs and the decaf nose beers.
Tobacco water pipes.
Basically, my my stowaway college / when our studio was in our garage stuff. No need to see any of this stuff anymore.
Well, and maybe we won't see it on camera, but maybe I'll even partake in some
smoking my weed.
For the live stream, Ryan, since it is New Year's Eve and we're going to be cutting loose.
What was that company? Freeze Pipe. I think we got
shout out to Freeze Pipe.
I think we got some fine glass works around here somewhere.
And shout out to Scotty Farrell, who hooked me up with a sweet bong as well. So
my favorite Scotty Farrell and Sean Green story.
Yeah, and shout out to Scott. I don't know if you follow him on social, but he had like a heart attack, and luckily he got to the doctor in time, and really they saved his life. So shout out to you, Scotty, shaking it up. Glad to hear you're on the mend and doing better. He's already back doing shows, so shout out to a true D-gen, Ryan, Scotty Farrell.
Yeah, it's wild. I first met him when Stern came to Sirius.
Yeah,
he was the nighttime guy. It's like, who's this Scotty? This guy sounds like he parties all the time. Love
coming full circle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes you got to tie the knot on the bow. All right, Thursday night. And again, I've kind of been talking about this on the show this week, but as I look at the schedule, I've almost found myself I definitely don't feel like I've put as much work into handicapping these games this week because I studied this week so hard all summer long. And as I'm getting through the games, it's like, oh yeah, this was the game where we were supposed to see Anthony Richardson go against the soft Patrick Graham defense and maybe have a nice Josh Jacobs bring back. Oh wait, Daniel Jones is not going to have
oh no, Ryan.
Chris Evans as a bring back running back. Cute play there.
Remember Daniel Jones?
All my poor Kyron Williams shares that were going to really, really dominate, just buried with Daniel Jones this year. And that Thursday night matchup, unfortunately, I did find my way into some Nick Chubb, Garrett Wilson teams that just were cratered immediately. Who knew the right way to play that was Breece Hall and Amari Cooper. Because honestly, if you get in that stack, you are almost certainly, and you got into the playoffs, you're almost certainly sweating out a finals ticket at this point. Jets head to Cleveland, a situation that certainly we've noticed. It seems like in this situation, the public has noticed. The Browns are just a much better team at home. 73% of the bets, but 83% of the dollars, Sean, early in on the Browns, laying the 7.5, minus 345 on the money line. Jets plus 275. 35 is the total. It was nice to see a totals board that looked a little bit more like an NFL board this week. Fewer 30s, couple 50s, spreading it out through the 40s. Still a 35-point total here in a game where, last week you could say, and we kind of discussed this with Jared, maybe this was a little bit that Jets defense breaking. Just a touch, because God, every week you go out.
I mean, Jacoby Brissett was slicing them up.
Now this is the second week in a row too, where Brissett came in and was slicing a team up after Howell made it look much more difficult. My take on this Jets team is this could be the nuclear situation where the defense.
How much can they take? And we were talking about it a little bit on the Thursday night prop show. Shout out to Jared. It's a great episode. Check it out. But there is a point where, like, at some point the defense is
the broken
all right.
part.
We've had enough. And you just look at this. I know they're getting points, right? But Trevor Siemian on the road on a short week against this Browns defense, and we've highlighted the Browns defense at home is kind of a different animal. Brad Ward again, host of the All Eyes on Cleveland podcast. Make sure you check that out if you're a Cleveland sports fan. He's in the chat saying it's going to be a whiteout Thursday night in Cleveland. Joe Flacco revenge game. Do you want to be on the opposite side of that? I get it. I get the squares are probably going to be laying the points here with the Jets, but maybe they're just trying to make that 7.5 to scare you off. I get it's scary. If you told me I'm going to feel good laying 7.5 points with Joe Flacco in the year 2023, I would have said you've been crazy. But how do you go against this Browns team right now? They destroyed that Texans team. Now, I know the Texans didn't have CJ Stroud, and I know their pass defense is pretty weak, and they got a good run defense. But man, Flacco looked good. Even with the picks, the Amari Cooper thing. Yeah, do I think he's gonna catch 160 yards? No, but I think there's going to be some opportunities against this Jets defense. One with Njoku, because I do think there's like a soft belly underneath for that Jets defense that can be exploited.
I think you can also. I think you also will have I think they. I don't think that they're just going to get stuffed in the run game either. I think both teams are actually. I think this total is probably right. I think this game is going to be a very low scoring game, and I think this is probably the kind of game where, as we're talking, I'm going to pull up and build a little quick same game parlay because, boy, Sean, Cleveland's defensive touchdown being 5-1.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem correct.
Well, and again, it's Siemian on the road on a short week for a guy who hasn't played all season. And you look at Siemian historically, 11-7 at home, 5-15 on the road.
Well, if you add the Siemian interception to the anytime touchdown, juices it up to 7-1.
And again, Joe Flacco, the comeback player of the year odds, he's down to plus 400. I said when it first started, when Flacco Mania first took over, he was the only guy I thought that could take it from Damar Hamlin. I still think Damar Hamlin is ultimately going to win it, but if there is one man to steal it from him, it is Joe Flacco.
All-time heel move. Come in and steal the comeback player of the year award.
And Flacco's pissed at the Jets organization. They snubbed their nose at him. This is just it's smash. It's 7.5, which you hate laying a big number with the Jets, but with the Browns.
Not at home. I don't think I
right.
do here. I think basically we're asking can Cleveland score 3 to 9 points on offense?
Yes,
I think that's 3 to 9 points on offense. I think gets it done.
24-14 is my official prediction.
Oh my God, the Jets aren't scoring 14 points, Sean.
Well,
that's crazy.
If you listen to the prop show, I do need Israel Abanaconda to score 2 touchdowns.
Oh, so
I can win a Kia.
Well done. All right, Saturday night football. Let me guess. This is going to be either Thursday night or Sunday night football. Saturday night edition.
I love when they do that. Fuck off. Just call it Saturday night football.
Is this the prime game? Is this a prime Saturday night game? Anyway, it's Saturday night football. We got Detroit and Dallas. The Cowboys laying 6 at home here, minus 260 on the money line. Lions plus 210, 53.5 is the total. Detroit back-to-back road spot. They just dumped the Gatorade up in Minnesota at the spaceship. The franchise lifted a 33-year-old monkey off its back, piano off its back, tins of Dan Campbell's skull off his back.
Skull. Yeah, Dan Campbell's probably getting excited at that game. Who wants a skull? Stop saying skull. Are they talking about wintergreen?
You just keep seeing
not in the pouches. Come on, I hate pouches.
You just keep seeing Dan Campbell he keeps.
Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take a skull.
Yeah, fire one this way.
First time the Lions have won the NFC North because again, the last time they won the division, it was called the NFC Central.
The North didn't exist.
Jared, I was driving around listening to this game on the satellite radio equivalent of Red Zone. And they cut over and Jared Goff's crying. Now, normally I always fade if you cry after a win, it's an auto fade. But they're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah, this is a tough spot we're in here, Sean. Because on one hand, we've never picked the Cowboys.
No, this is the time I would pick the Cowboys, and a lot of the scenarios would have would kind of actually benefit the Eagles actually if the Cowboys won. Like the 1, 2, and 3 seeding gets kind of wonky, but the Lions still are in the mix for the number 1 seed. They're still in the mix for the number 2 seed. I think there's a world where this Lions team super loose. You saw this Lions team turtle up a little bit, even in that Vikings game, where it's like, expectations,
the job's not done yet, men,
and little revenge.
We're soft. We need to play inside, men.
Little revenge game for Dan Campbell against his former team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
Now, I think if you're a Cowboys backer, you're saying, hey, I like the matchups here with the Cowboys passing offense going up against the Lions passing defense. Certainly, you could argue a smash spot for the Cowboys offense, but I'll counter. This Lions team's loose. They have literally nothing to lose. They got an NFC North Division title in their back pocket. This to me, Ryan, reminds me of when I'm at Circa. I'm up already on blackjack, and then I'm like, all right, cash in, take it over the NFL slot machine. I'm playing with house money, and I think this Lions team is playing with house money. Dan Campbell,
interesting,
16-4 against the spread as an underdog of 4+. And how do you attack the Dallas Cowboys? How do you really beat the Cowboys? And frustrating that the Eagles didn't do this enough when they played the Cowboys. In hindsight, why did the Bills kick the Cowboys' ass? Because they were able to run it.
They circled the wagons.
Well, they circled the wagons, but they brought a physicality, and they exploited the weakness of the Cowboys defense, which is using dynamic running backs a la James Cook. And I think you got the 2-headed monster of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, which I think are really going to give the Cowboys fits. And I think this spread should be 3.5, honestly, 3.5. But because of the situation spot, because of everyone like us, Ryan, that are saying, hey, this is a horrible situation. Oh, Cowboys just lost 2 on the road. They come back home. They're so much better at home than on the road. They're going to go nuts. I think you're getting some nice key numbers here. So yeah, I'm always going to pick against the Cowboys, but I think there actually is a decent case for the Lions here, especially at 6. Like, am I going to be shocked if the Cowboys win? No, but I think this is like a 28-24 type game.
They could get boat raced very easily. I would say, again, there are a lot.
I know you're a Cowboys fan, right?
Oh, but no, what I was gonna say was when I look at the DK betting splits over at VSiN, it's 54% on the Lions. But everything I've heard is talking about how this is a smash spot for the Cowboys. You can't possibly take the Lions after winning the division. I mean, in all fairness,
is it honestly, all jokes aside, is it a sharp play to take the Cowboys at -6? I don't think it is, because the look ahead was like 4.5.
Well, certainly with the way that, I mean, we act like the Cowboys having a cratering floor is shocking, especially towards the end of the year when teams have had time to adjust against Humpty Dumpty over there and fucking many men McCarthy. You like my Humpty Dumpty joke about him being put together, back together again?
I missed that.
Yeah, the Cowboys. Yeah, I would worry that it seems so basic of a handicap that everyone's gravitating towards it, and I would throw out that it almost feels like you talking about South Dakota State and the FCS playoffs, looking ahead in the playoffs. Dan Campbell understands his team can't go outside and win a playoff game. Dan Campbell understands that their only prayer is to continue to win and put pressure on the other powers in the conference and maybe snake that 1 seed, or at least have the highest seed possible. I don't think this is hey, we won the division, we're just going to completely dump. Maybe they dump next week against the Vikings, but even in that one, they're most likely going to have an opportunity to prevent the Vikings from making the playoffs. So I don't see the Lions tanking. They're back inside. Take the points, even though they dumped the game. Like, there's a 0% chance Dan Campbell didn't enjoy some cocktails. Maybe had a couple loose moments. Yeah, I don't know. It's Saturday night. What am I going to do? We're bet on the Cowboys? No, Haven't done it in 12 years. I'm not going to start now, Sean. Sunday morning.
This is great. Serial's saying, what happened to that high-powered Miami offense? Well, imagine talking shit after losing to the Dolphins. Come on.
I mean, the Giants almost beat the Dolphins.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing. Dolphins, they're heading to Baltimore, take on the Ravens. Everyone's top team, at least my top team. All of a sudden, Sean's coming around on the Ravens. Been on them all year.
Ryan, breaking news.
What happened? What do you mean? What breaking?
We got a D Bettis super chat.
Wow, D Bettis in the house.
Shout out to D Bettis kicking us a nice 10 spot here, saying me wearing my tinfoil hat driving to Delaware again because Harrington Casino has the best sportsbook payout. Made $34K in 3 weeks so far.
D Bettis is the man. I assume you're doing it on the back of 18-leg teasers.
I mean, he showed us a screenshot of the 18 team parlay his son put in. Who
he's parenting a prodigy.
Yeah, the kid's parlaying at a
who's that
12th grade level.
The Bobby, he's got the Bobby Fischer of fucking teasers over here.
Yes. So shout out to D Bettis. Love hearing from him. And legend in the chat and in and around the Philadelphia area.
Now that you're done interrupting me, Baltimore laying 3 minus 170 on the money line. Miami plus 140. 47 is the total. I'm staring down the barrel of some nice cashes, Sean, to the point where I have to start even thinking about, do I even bother getting invested in this game? I have Dolphins. I'm a little bit of a pickle. Dolphins to win the division plus 325. That one's going to come down to next week anyway. Ravens 1 seed. We love that. That's a big juicy price. I want to say that's between 10 and 14 to 1 all the times I bought it. Ravens division plus 250. That's pretty much done. But the Ravens just seem to be playing in form right now. Laying 3. This defense is going to be able to lock down the Dolphins. I thought the look ahead was last week when they were playing the Niners.
Well, it's interesting because I think there clearly was a lack of respect that Harbaugh was using to amp up the Ravens team, and the Ravens and Lamar as a dog against NFC teams, nearly unstoppable. I mean, it's pretty funny, Ryan. Your Giants, the only NFC team to ever take down Lamar Jackson.
Well, it was Wink Martindale. He knew how to stop him.
There must be something to that, but now I wouldn't say it's a look. Is this a letdown spot because they played so well? They destroyed Brock Purdy's MVP chances, and that poor guy who spent $125,000 over on prop swap. He must not be a big Ravens fan right now.
If you have $125,000 to go buy a ticket like that,
well, yeah. All right. And the guy goes, well, I still think he has a chance. And he said, if I win, it wouldn't have been my biggest win. If I lose, not my biggest loss.
Wow. Okay. Tough guy.
He also identified as an anonymous Ivy League graduate.
So he's a prick.
So probably not his money. Anyway, I worry about a dangerous letdown spot for this Ravens team, Ryan, because they took down the 49ers. Everyone's saying, well, what a great win, and rightfully so. Lamar is now the MVP favorite. But again, how do you fade this Ravens team after looking that good against a quality opponent like the San Francisco 49ers? And you look at the Dolphins side. Where do the Dolphins struggle? The Dolphins struggle on the road against good teams. They struggled against the Chiefs, which who knows if they're a good team. Neutral field over there in London. They struggled at Buffalo. They struggled against Philly in Philly. All you would say good teams, or at least by modern NFL standards. They're able to destroy teams on the road that are shitty, like the Commanders. But man, I don't know. There's a physicality. There's a pop to this Ravens team. I think the only reason they wouldn't pull this off is because of the letdown spot, but I'm going to need 4 points from the Dolphins to get to not take the Ravens. So if the Ravens are only laying 3, I think you got to take the Ravens.
Just their ability to slow down. I mean, their ability to play defense will just create problems for Tua. I'm not sure if there's going to be any sort of like weather-inducing like fumbles from Tua, but this defense picks off everyone. We saw it last week with Brock Purdy. If anything, Brock Purdy more trustworthy with the ball this year than Tua. So I'm in on the Baltimore defense, and I also think they win this game. It's 2 weeks off. I know NFL teams don't think like this, but you have some time, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for Baltimore. And when we get to the point of talking divisional round and them coming off the bye, I'll probably be looking to fade them. But if they win this game, it's 2 weeks off. So I don't know about you, Sean.
So wait, do they lock up the 1 seed if they win this?
I want to say they virtually lock. Well, no, they lock it up. There would be. I have the scenarios in front of me. So they would have a 2-game spread on the Dolphins and the tiebreaker, and the Chiefs would be 2. Yeah, it's over. The Browns cannot catch them if they win this week either. So that's that. They lock up the 1 seed this week. They don't play for 2 weeks. That's the kind of motivation like that I think is probably underrated in the NFL. So to your point, this should be north of 3. Give me the Ravens.
Lamar looking forward to a week off, catch up on his COVID.
Get it a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Ravens management, as soon as
Lamar won't sit though, because there is an MVP at stake here too. So
that's interesting. Do you think he would sit next week if they have nothing to play for?
Is Lamar a team guy? Does he care about the MVP? There's a contract. So. Do we know what the contract bonus? I thought I saw someone write it's a milli.
But I think in a weird way, I don't think the voters would take away from your MVP if you're resting week 18
because you're the number one.
Yeah.
If anything, that should be a benefit, right?
No, I think in a weird way, this locks up.
Yeah, you're right.
Lamar for MVP, and if you want to look at, I mean, I don't know if you like Ravens money line at -170.
What's the MVP price move to?
Last I saw it was like Lamar -160.
Let me pull it up. Because I saw some chatter about people liking to fade him. I didn't quite get the logic because it does. The more that I think about it, the more that his MVP price is mimicking the money line price. So
yeah, they know what's up. They know that if the Ravens win this game, he's gonna win MVP.
All right, so all right, game number 2 in the early window. Patriots. Also on a back-to-back here. Nice little win for the Pats. They got Russ benched. I don't know how I feel about that. They're heading to Buffalo where the Bills are laying 13 -650 on the money line, 470 for the Patriots. The Patriots coming back 40.5 is the total. My first thought was like, well, that's a lot of points for the Patriots, but this is the new look Patriots, Sean. You have to take the points here, right?
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
This was the easiest bet on the board.
I don't know. This one is kind of interesting because I do think this Bills team, one, they have extra rest, right? And then 2, not a ton of extra rest, but they still do have extra rest. You know, the Belichick defense really struggles against mobile quarterbacks. The Bills defense has been playing really well at home. If you recall, the Patriots beat the Bills in New England. So now this is a revenge spot for the Bills. The Bills really need this game. I think they're going to be fired up and super motivated.
They're not going to be able to run the ball though, which is where the success has come from.
That's true. I mean, and in general, you want to take a double division dog, but Bills kind of own them. If I don't think the Pats can win this game, which I think is tough to get to.
Well,
I think they can cover this spread. You think they can win? I guess I do. The idea of the Patriots beating the Bills twice.
People are talking about the Bills like, oh yeah, they're in the playoffs, no big deal. Yep, they're playing for the division next week, no big deal. They got to play the Patriots this week. And Belichick, as we've discussed on this program, 1 foot out the door, wants to fuck over the like he's not trying to tank for anyone. And I guess the counter is, they look good last week.
Who?
The Patriots.
Yeah, they had moments.
Relative to this Patriot. I mean, this is a Patriots team that lost to Tommy DeVito.
I mean, that's the other thing. They certainly did. I think it was for whatever reason they were pretty motivated in this spot. I worry about Bailey Zappi back-to-back road game. I worry about Bailey Zappi going into a hostile Bills defense.
I almost feel like the juice isn't there for the Bills in this matchup, and that's like maybe I'm misreading the situation.
I don't know. I guess maybe it was just a get up spot against the Cowboys, but the juice was certainly there against Dallas, and maybe the juice just wasn't there for Dallas, and that's what I was picking up on. But
Yeah, that could be.
It's also crazy to lay 12 with them because their offense hasn't.
I can't lay.
I imagine the public. I worry this Pats team has fleas.
Sean, this is what's going to happen. We've seen this before. It's the early window. We get a sleepy start. They can't. They're struggling to run the ball. Josh presses a little bit, makes a stupid interception. All of a sudden, it's like, what? Pats are up 10-3. Like, what the fuck's going on in that game?
What do you think the betting splits are, Ryan? What does VSiN have the betting splits?
I didn't note it, so it must not be that notable. So let's see, 56% Pats, 44% Bills. So right down the middle.
Okay, so slightly public dog, but nothing crazy.
No, I wouldn't call that a public dog, but I mean, if it helps your case, it helps you.
No, I mean, there's more people on the Patriots.
The Bills have, like, historically the Bills, this Bills team, they smash bad teams. They're bullies. They beat up on the really bad teams. Even early this season, I think the Raiders a good example of that. They beat up bad teams, but I do think in a situation where the defensive coordinator is going to have a plan to stop the run specifically, let's see what he can do. So I'll take the points. I'll gamble. Give me a 13-point head start against Josh Allen, and maybe he throws a pick and helps me out. But I certainly don't think we're going to see a James Cook game this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Just because of the Pats run defense?
I think the Pats defense has been good. They're up to 10th overall, second against the run DVOA.
Yeah, I guess I'm worried about
and this is with the worst offense in the fucking league.
Right. So that's what I'm worried about. The worst offense in the fucking league going up against a Bills defense that I think has kind of played better as of late.
That's fair. But the Bills defense is the worst thing they do is stop the run. So it's this weird thing where, like,
Zeke's going to have a massive career game.
Zeke hasn't been horrible, and he certainly hasn't looked that much worse than Ramondre. I know Ramondre's had some big games, but the way that the Pats play offense, Zeke he works just fine. Just fall forward 4 yards. So yeah, give me the Pats.
Let's see. Do I pull the trigger? Yeah, I guess I'll go New England. I'm staying away from this one though, because I could see Buffalo getting up for it, but
I respect the bully handicap because the Patriots fall in that category of bad teams, but just something about the way they're playing right now. All right, my Falcons head to Chicago to take on the Bears. Bears laying 3, -155 on the money line, +130 for the Falcons. 38 is the total. I have so many questions. All right. So on one hand, this isn't Desmond Ridder on the road. It's Taylor Heineke. Should the Bears be laying 3 points here against the Falcons?
You could make a case they should be laying more. Yeah. I mean, their defense,
strangely good.
You look at their EPA and all that. I know you're a big DVOA guy.
Top 10.
What's the weighted DVOA? It's got to be through the roof, right?
8th. They're up to 8th, 3rd against the run. I mean, this is an elite unit. I mean, they look, Matty Eberflus. How did he get hired? He was a defensive coordinator for the Colts.
Yeah.
So shouldn't be surprising that he went out. He got some players that fit his system. We all made fun of him because he's like, interior linebackers. What are you doing? Trading a second rounder for Sweat. What do you do? Well, all of a sudden here we are. And honestly, it does seem like the last piece that they needed was Sweat. He's really transformed that defense. He's given them a formidable pass rush, and he doesn't really need to come off the field a ton. So I guess I hear the angle, but the Falcons defense isn't that far off from very similar profile. They're gonna slow down the run, and I
don't think the rushing defense is what it was, and especially they're not especially good against stopping mobile quarterbacks running the ball.
They're trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Like these are two teams trending in different directions.
Yeah, the Falcons defense started out much better earlier in the year. You have a dome team going outdoors in December. You have Taylor Heineke on the road.
They're a unique dome team in that they love to run the ball, though. In fairness,
right? But they also suck. So yeah, give me the Bears -3. I like this spot a lot for Chicago.
If neither team can run the ball, who do you like more?
Well, I think Justin Fields will be able to run the ball. I mean, maybe their running backs can't run the ball, but I think Justin Fields will be able to run on this Atlanta Falcons team, and I think he's going to, because he's literally running for his life. Falcons also not great against the tight end. Cole Kmet banged up, maybe not going to play. So could be a nice Robert Tonyan game.
Mercedes Lewis found the end zone. That guy's old as shit.
Yeah. I just like this Bears defense against Taylor Heineke on the road.
Mercedes Lewis was drafted the same year as Reggie Bush and Vince Young. He's catching touchdowns in the league this year.
That's crazy.
That's wild. Give me the points with the Falcons. I think this is a field goal game. I think that it's going to be a disgusting game. I think turnovers are going to be involved.
Oh yeah, Taylor Heineke.
And I think that it's the fact that it is Heineke gives me a little bit of a hope. Both teams, I think both quarterbacks make mistakes, but you got to take the points in a matchup like this, especially with my Falcons. Running game's getting going. This could be a Tyler Algier game. I love how I don't know if you saw completely out of left field, Arthur Smith just giving props to Cordero Patterson. He gets asked a completely unrelated question about the running game, and he's like, really just love the effort and passion that Cordero Patterson brings to he calls him the big dog. I was always getting full 3 against the Bears. Tough to lay 3 with the Bears against.
No, not at all.
This is a big time matchup too for this Falcons team.
How so?
Their playoff hopes are on the line.
Oh, okay.
Bears aren't playing for the playoffs.
Yeah, they got a chance.
Loser goes home here.
I mean, they have Justin Fields is playing for his NFL career.
They all are, Sean. They all are. Let's see. The Bears officially.
They got a 1% chance.
Is it that high?
Mm-hmm. If they win both games, they're up to 4%.
According to Impredictable, it's 0.2%. What do you think the Falcons is? 12.1%.
Yeah. So come on, they know they're.
What do you mean? All we need is a little bit of some.
And I actually think Eberflus. This is a rare scenario where he is the better coach.
Oh wow.
I'm out on
Arthur Smith back against the wall after what Arthur Blank said about him.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah. All
right. Hey, have you guys signed up with PrizePicks? What are you waiting for? PrizePicks.com/SGPN. Get the 100% deposit match up to $100. Kramer, what do we like in our PrizePicks entry this week?
I mean, maybe we stick in the game we were just talking about.
Okay. Are you willing to go Justin Fields rushing yards? Justin Fields.
What's the number?
Justin Fields touchdown. I'm seeing right now. That's in goblin mode or demon mode.
Ooh, I love.
So demon mode, I think, is like some bonus payout. So you get a little plus money action there.
Yeah. What's the number?
They just have his a
it.
touchdown right
Okay.
now.
You want to just do it anytime?
Okay. So we have Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Who else do we have?
Well, let's go. Our guy, Tyler Algier. he scored last week. He's on a hot streak. Does he score 2 weeks?
I don't see him.
He's there. He's also goblin mode.
Really?
Yeah. Double goblin mode.
So let's see. Tyler.
Oh, sorry.
Algier.
That's a demon. Wait, is green goblin or
green
demon?
Is demon?
Okay.
Oh no, sorry. Red is demon.
Yeah.
Green is goblin.
So this is a demon.
All right. So this is pretty nice. It is a
2 demons. It's double demon.
Just a 2-pick entry pays plus 950. $100 to win 950. What? Feels pretty good there. All we need is Tyler Algier and Justin Fields to score touchdowns. I like this a lot. And of course,
phone the accountants. We need to free up some
release
resources.
The funds. if you head over to PrizePicks.com/SGPN and use the promo code SGPN, you get the 100% deposit match. So you could deposit $100, get your free $100, and maybe you want to use it on this, and maybe you hit a plus 950.
Maybe. I like how you did that.
Well, I'm not gonna guarantee the results. PrizePicks, DFS simplified.
Not willing to guarantee results, Sean. How dare you? Tennessee heads to Houston. Nice little AFC South. It feels sad. Ryan Tannehill was clearly just really horrible again. So this is the end. We got to put him down. Bring out that curtain they wrap around the horse. Take Tannehill down.
No.
It's over. That's it, Sean. No more. Drafted way too much of him in best ball this year.
Derrick Henry did get a passing touchdown to Chig.
Yeah, exactly. He's a more efficient passer than Ryan Tannehill at this point. Some of those passes were just hospital balls. Houston laying 5 -220 on the money line, +180 for Tennessee. 42.5 is the total. So 5 means CJ Stroud will be back.
It does seem like it's trending that way.
How can the number be -5 if it's not?
Yeah.
Do you think it goes up more if Stroud is announced in and it's Tannehill again?
I think it's going to be Levis. Levis was practicing today.
Levis Stroud. What's the number?
6.
Oh, so you do think it goes up a little bit?
Yeah,
more.
slightly. I think they'll round it up to 6 because I think once CJ Stroud's officially in, people start pounding the Texans. And I understand why. I mean, the Texans offense getting CJ Stroud back, they should be able to carve up the Titans secondary. I mean, the issue is the Titans or the Texans, their defenses are kind of similar in some ways where it's like how you beat them is by throwing the football, but you would trust CJ Stroud way more to throw the football than whatever Tennessee is trotting out.
Yes. I would say
but also, I mean, this is a division game. This is, maybe the end of the Vrabel era. Vrabel as a dog, them wanting to play spoiler against a division opponent. Like, I don't know. It's not going to be a cakewalk because I think this Titans team, they're not necessarily good, but they're a tough out. Like look at Seattle last week. Like Titans didn't play well, but the effort is still there with this Titans team. And Will Levis is a guy who puts it all in he fucking goes for it, man.
Their first matchup went to overtime. The Titans have not lost in Houston since 2018.
Is this an AFC South flowchart game, Ryan?
I mean, not really. Kind of, but
not losing since 2018.
If you focus in just on the matchups in Houston, the Titans have had the number for whatever reason. Certainly, they've been a better team for a lot of those years.
And I like CJ Stroud. I think he's locked up offensive rookie of the year. But coming back from a concussion that was bad enough that made him miss 2 weeks
and laying 5.
He didn't get the Trevor Lawrence concussions, which they're like a 3-day concussion.
Oh, he's really dumb.
I think you got to take the Titans. The more I'm thinking about this.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Really?
I mean, Sean, don't you remember what the Texans were before like these last couple games, like before the injury? CJ Stroud was really struggling to cover numbers. Again, it was like that, he on the come up, it was fun and catching points and certainly going to be a dynamic matchup, but I don't think the Texans are at a point where they're a team where you can lay 5 points in a divisional matchup where the guy on the other sideline has owned your team. And so, yeah, I like this one a lot. I just remember the earlier matchup. I mean, I certainly don't mind
close game.
Taking the 5 points.
And I think Tennessee is going to be supremely motivated. Some teams that are knocked out, you look at the situation. I think so. I'll be surprised if Tennessee heads into Houston and just lays down. Like this team still fighting hard.
Oh, I mean, if Will Levis is the guy, I mean, Will Levis was supposed to be like CJ Stroud, except for he went in the second round, not the first round. That does not just put a chip on your shoulder forever.
Yeah.
Will Levis easily becoming one of my more.
I like the draft day revenge angle as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, just wait.
Oh, CJ Stroud's offensive rookie of the year. Look at Will Levis. He's going to be shotgunning Mayo on the sideline, carving him up.
He's probably jealous he wasn't at the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Oh, 100%.
All right, let's move along to another AFC South team, the Indianapolis Colts. They're hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders coming off Monday morning game against the Chiefs, so a little bit more rest there. Big time win. This is a back-to-back road spot, coming off an emotional win. A lot of talk about the fan base clearly wants Antonio Pierce to be the guy. This is different than Rich Bisaccia in a way because he's a former player. He was a Raiders fan growing up. Like this feels like the perfect coach. He's winning meaningful games against division rivals. And Sean, the first thing I thought about with this game, other than the best ball summer thoughts that I had in terms of stacking this one, was, man, what was Vegas Indy not one of those wacky games towards the end of the season last year? Was that not the biggest comeback in NFL history? Am I misremembering?
Which one? Vegas.
Vegas versus the Colts last year. Was that not the biggest comeback?
No, it was Vikings.
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 Okay.
Colts.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins took them all the way.
Okay. So Colts laying 3.5 here. Interesting. -175 on the money line, +145 for the Raiders. 43.5 is the total. This is another potential letdown, emotional spot, short week, on the road, back-to-back weeks. There's question about the future of the coach. They keep getting up for him though. They keep getting like he's fucking Viagra.
And the Raiders, you look at the advanced numbers, Ryan. You know, I don't know if it's made it into the adjusted DVOA, but man, like the advanced numbers for this Raiders defense is legit. Max Crosby against this Colts offensive line and Gardner Minshew, I think he's going to be in trouble. Now, maybe Minshew has enough to scramble around. I also think the Raiders do a great job at hiding Aiden O'Connell. Like, hey, we're not going to let you lose this game for us.
He didn't pass in the last 3 quarters last week.
Yeah. And Michael Pittman sounds like he could play for the Colts, but he's still dealing with a shoulder concussion, shoulder and a concussion, but he's progressing. It sounds like he's going to
live.
He supposedly, yeah, we'll see. And the Raiders have had 4 defensive touchdowns in the past 2 games. Doesn't feel sustainable, but turnovers come in bunches. And if there's anyone that can turn the ball over and unravel a game, it's Minshew.
So the Giants didn't want to get rid of Patrick Graham, but he was Joe Judge's guy. And so when the Giants fired Joe Judge, he said, "Fuck you guys, I'm out of here." He's a good defensive coordinator. He's very much a sit back and, let you matriculate down the field. Don't make mistakes. Like he's banking on you to make the mistake. And so, yeah, against Gardner Minshew, it doesn't seem like it's a great matchup, but I think the layman will look at this and say, "Hey, the Raiders aren't good defending the run. The Colts are good running the ball. That's the matchup that I'm going to zoom in on." I don't know. I like, it's not going to feel good being on a public Raiders team coming off that Chiefs win, but if it's
not going to feel good the other way, like back in this Colts team, who I think is well coached. I like Shane Steichen. I like what they're trying to do there, but I think the Minshew magic may have run out. And man, like this Raiders team now, this Raiders team is playing for their playoff lives all of a sudden. It's crazy.
The Colts,
yeah,
but yeah. The the only thing about this game that concerns me and had me thinking I think I might be on the Colts is the number. The number is where it is. The money, the bet's coming in on Vegas, Sean, but the dollars are coming in on the Colts. 67% of the dollars, only 29% of the bets on the Colts. So little bit of the market is telling me, like, it's whispering in my ear, like, Steichen. Because I do think there should be a coaching clinic being put on. And I the one thing I'll say about Patrick Graham's defense is it's predictable. And so what scares me here,
but then why couldn't Andy Reid figure it out?
Well, because they don't have the players. And it seems like Steichen has shown that even with down some key players, he can get it done. Jonathan Taylor is back. You know what? Give me the Colts. I think a good offensive play caller. How did Steichen,
you just like laying the 3.5?
Yeah, you're right. I do. When did Steichen when was he calling plays for the Eagles? 20, was it just one season?
No, it was
two seasons.
Yeah, it was like half the season. They didn't really ever reveal which game he took over.
Ooh, that sounds dramatic. Yeah, I wonder how he did. Well, he would have gone against Patrick Graham 2 years ago. Is my point.
They did not do well against the
Giants that year.
No, they always do well against.
Well, I'm just saying that would be a reference point. Steichen versus Patrick Graham. Anyway, yeah, you're right. I do like laying 3.5, and I'm trying to stick to my pillars of handicapping the NFL. 10 a.m. on the West Coast. We got 3, 4, 5 more early games. My God, you couldn't split it up, NFL. You couldn't put a couple more in the late window. Carolina heads to Jacksonville.
Well, Ryan, this will be good because we're going to be getting in some live pick'ems, some fantasy drafts. So
only 3 games to focus on. I mean, just eyes will be all over.
No, but we're starting at 12:30, so we'll catch the end of the early games.
Yeah, you'll get to see some sweat happening.
Well, and you can do live pick'em, so you can hop in live on those as well. So
do some last drive. All right, will he get this catch? Carolina heads to Jacksonville. This is the all Madden 94 unlock the new teams game. Panthers catching 6.5. This was 7. It's now 6.5 plus 240 on the money line. Jags minus 300. 38 is the total. All right, I had so many thoughts about this game when I saw seeing it at 7 and now down to 6.5 makes sense. Carolina's been bettable lately. They've covered some numbers. They even won a game. Jacksonville, meanwhile, this is I think the Jacksonville team that you and I, Sean, kind of thought they were going to be all year.
Suspect, just sus, as the kids say.
Well, it's like the ceiling. They remain to have this ceiling that's going to like tantalize people, but their floor is that of a 4-win team.
Yeah,
especially when you're going to run concussed Trevor Lawrence out there.
Yeah,
that was a bad move. That was not a smart move. Trevor Lawrence not smart enough to be playing with a concussion. Some of these guys can play through a concussion, and maybe that's a characteristic thing. But Trevor Lawrence can't play through a concussion. He needs 3 weeks. Going forward, Trevor Lawrence 3 weeks after a concussion. So by that logic, I have to take Carolina here because this is only the second week. What's the status? I mean, Christian Kirk.
Well, it's not even just
back.
I mean, it's not just the concussion stuff. Like he got knocked around pretty good, and I think he's banged up overall. I was just pulling up while you're talking, Ryan, our team preview episode. We both had Jags going under 9.5 wins. They're sitting here at 8 and 7, so they'd have to win both to cash the over.
Not dead yet.
I have them going 9 and 8. You had them 7 and 10, but we also both. Trevor Lawrence most interceptions. I don't think that's quite there.
I don't think so either.
But yeah, I mean, we were certainly on fading them, and then of course I did have the most likely degen, aka the person to get arrested for gambling.
Was it the IT department? Oh no,
no, I had the pool staff, the guys who, and not too far off. I mean, you read that story about the guy who was running the virtual credit card program was just using it to dump.
He was reserving $3,000 DFS lineups and not entering
playing.
a lineup. That's all world. All right. So interception rankings right now, Sam Howell 17. He's been benched twice. Impressive. Josh Allen 15, Mahomes 14, Hurts 13, Trevor Lawrence 12.
So not probably dead, but
he needs a couple. He needs a 5 interception game.
I mean,
he's got a 5 interception game.
This is tough, Ryan. Like if we had just a little sidebar here, if we had to handicap this market, do you make Josh Allen the favorite? Because he's going to be playing these last 2 games. Sam Howell probably not, but Sam Howell is a 2-game lead. Allen has been throwing 1 in every game.
Do they not? Do they have odds up? I assume they'd have odds.
Someone probably somewhere does have it, but yeah, that's crazy. That's an interesting market right now.
Yeah, they only have touchdowns.
Trevor Lawrence has to get to work to get this 40 to 1.
I think you have to still make Sam Howell the favorite because he's there, probably minus 150,
and he might see some action.
But boy, I mean, it's not like Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going against 2 teams that have already seen him this year in Miami and New England. So, and Mahomes with this guy's pressing. I think this is going to be like a horse race, Sean. I think they're. And you know what? That's a great idea for visualizing the interception race this year. It could be like a horse race. Sam Howell, wait, I'm going to find a site that this is perfect. All right.
Ryan,
what?
Panthers Jags. What are we doing here? I mean, you can run on this Panthers team. Their passing defense isn't horrible. Again, Trevor Lawrence, they continue to put him out there. Probably should have just not played him against Cleveland, let him heal that ankle injury. He ends up getting a concussion, somehow clears it. The Jags passing defense has been soft, but can the Panthers take advantage of it? I don't think so. But again, it's 6.5.
Yeah, no, because you're supposed to bet the Panthers.
Yeah, I'll take Carolina. I mean, I just can't. How can you trust this Jacksonville team right now?
Yeah, I guess we probably should have taken the 7. Too bad we record when we record. I just don't know who's betting Jacksonville. I don't know who's watching this team and betting Jacksonville right now. They're just spreadsheet people.
Cody's saying from TAV saying there's people that actually got this at plus 7.5.
Oh, so sharp. So sharp. I don't need that stinking point. Rams, they had to New York to take on the Giants. Rams are a mini bye coming off that Thursday night victory over the Saints.
A little extra rest.
Meanwhile, the Giants on short rest played the Eagles on Christmas. Giants catching 5.5 at home, plus 180 on the money line. Rams minus 220. 43.5 is the total. Tyrod's going to be the guy. R.I.P. Tommy DeVito.
You know, I was. Hey, I mean, what's done is done, right?
More Italian American slander out there, just being allowed.
I mean, there's just so many great Tommy DeVito getting whacked memes.
Oh, of course.
I mean, because
why is he got to be whacked?
Well,
I mean, again, if this was any other culture, and we were just throwing out the most hilarious stereotypes, people would be up in arms. There's no place for this in society. Have we learned nothing?
Yes.
Continue if you want to. I mean, if you were you going to say something?
No,
we're going to add value to the world.
Yeah, no, I mean, literally, he's named Tommy DeVito after the guy in Goodfellas. Of course, he was going to get whacked. I just imagine his dad like hearing the news and being like Robert De Niro. Yo, what happened? Where is Tommy? What's going on? And just smashing the phone outside that diner. He gets whacked again. That was Tommy DeVito under passing yards, and it dawned on me before even the game. I go, oh yeah, there's like a decent chance they put Tyrod in. So maybe
no, that was a surprise to a lot of people. I mean 100% people who covered the team, everyone.
Really?
He was full. He did. First thing he said after the previous game was Tommy DeVito's the starter. There was no talk about Tyrod got no reps with the ones.
I guess
if anything, people are pissed at Dable because they're like, what the fuck? You said you wanted to play this guy, and then you pull him the first time there's a little adversity.
I guess to me it wasn't very surprising because you even threw out the idea of like, oh well, Tyrod might not get it. Tyrod's going to get his job back, so I was basing it off that.
Well, yeah, and that's the point. Like, you didn't go with Tyrod in the Green Bay game. Why are you making this swap halftime of this divisional game against a tough opponent? It turned out that Tommy DeVito was not making the throws. You immediately saw it with Tyrod. Comes in, willingness to throw down the field. Unfortunately, misses 2 really critical throws, but other than that, was operating the offense, I think, in a way that Dable wanted him to. So it's
Dago Dimes t-shirt sales plummeting. Ryan,
I definitely, I mean, it's tough for chicken cutlets. I wonder if they'll rename the sandwich again. The agent, he knocked it out
now
of the ballpark.
He has to pay the bakery $10,000 to appear.
Yeah, it's like now the pizza's not on. It's not on the house anymore. You motherfucker. It's a clear upgrade that's not going to be valued as an upgrade because the Giants are a crappy team. And if you believe what some are saying, there were members of the locker room that felt like, hey, Tyrod is the better guy.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you get a little juice out of that. I mean, I thought you saw there was a tiny bit of juice even in the game. Again, just willingness to make the throw down the field. You're a receiver. You feel like you're running for nothing if that quarterback's always going to play it safe. And so you certainly have to value Tyrod being put into this game now,
which I do. But I think to me, the Giants have some real issues in their secondary. You saw that the play to Devonta Smith. Yeah. I just don't think they're going to be able to slow down Puka Nacua and Cooper.
Yeah,
Kupp.
But you got to be a football guy for a second. That's on Wink. That was a tremendous Flott, who the guy that Devonta Smith beat should never have been left on an island with this guy ever. And so stuff like that can't happen.
But also
that being said, Deonta Banks, before he left the game with ankle or whatever is going on, kind of shut down AJ Brown. So there is some optimism around what they were able to do. And then there's just these boneheaded plays because they have a couple guys like that's why Darnay Holmes keeps getting his spot back because Cordell Flott he fucks up coverage like that all the time. And if you watch that Devonta Smith play, he was never covered. The whole play he's not covered.
Yeah.
And so sure, maybe that's a case of saying it's going to happen again. Maybe they realize in this game against these route runners, you can't do that. You have to put the guy out there that at least is going to get lined up correctly.
Well, and I think if the rest disparity was swapped, you could talk me into the Rams. But the fact that I
just don't think the Rams are that good to be laying this. This is like the Packers game. This is no different than the Packers game in New York.
I guess I disagree. I think this Rams team is pretty good. And really what gets me on the Rams is Stafford versus the blitz. one of the very good at handling the blitz. And that's what Wink Martindale does. And he's not a guy that's going to adjust his game plan.
But he hasn't been blitzing this year. That's the frustrating thing. He didn't fucking blitz in the Saints game.
He blitzed Jalen Hurts a ton.
Well, yeah, because Jalen Hurts doesn't handle the blitz as well.
Okay. I mean, I think
he's been sitting back in a lot of games. It doesn't make sense. I would prefer that he blitz. But if your thesis is he's over blitzing, he's definitely not doing that this year.
I guess I like Stafford against this Giants defense.
Yeah, I understand why people are betting the Rams, but I just don't think the Rams are a team that should be laying this number.
You got a Thursday to Sunday versus a Monday to Sunday.
Yeah, this Giants team's going to lose. It's going to be a close game.
Okay.
This is going to be a
Just
lot like
ram
that.
it, baby.
It's going to be a lot like that Packers game, like some sort of like 2-point game with team has a chance to win with a field goal or something like that. Arizona, the Cardinals, they're heading to Philly. Jonathan Gannon comes home to seek revenge. Eagles also coming off a Christmas Day game. Cardinals, although in a back-to-back road spot, catching 11 points here, plus 410 on the money line. Eagles minus 550, 48.5 is the total. I'm not really sure how to handicap this game because I want to create this narrative that maybe Gannon will have some secrets to slow down the offense and blah blah blah. It's just Kyler in a hostile scenario.
Yeah, I mean, team, outdoors, back-to-back road spot.
I can't lay this number though. Can you? This is
big.
Tough. You can't lay this number.
I can lay it.
This team is there's something. Again, why did they stop playing bully ball against the Giants in that game? I understand there were some weird things that occurred, but they did seem to like just they used to be good at choking out the game and leaning on the clock. And if they do that in this game against the Cardinals, they could very easily win.
Yep.
31-10.
Yep. Yeah. And
but do you have faith they're going to do that?
Well, again, like I've mentioned previously, the something is a little off about this mojo, about the mojo of the team. This is definitely a mojo get right spot for the team. And one, you get Avonte Maddox back. That should be huge for them. Looks like Landon Dickerson, he was a full go, even though it was a walkthrough, but I expect him to play. That's huge. You look at the Cards and how they struggle with a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields. I mean, if the Bears can beat the Arizona Cardinals by 11 at home, I think the Eagles can. That's mostly how the handicap works. And I think this Cardinals team
is handicap.
No, but I mean, am I wrong? Like, I do. The Eagles have certainly struggled, and they have, their talent they haven't gelled. Whatever you want to call it, the mojo has been off for this team. That being said, I do still think they're a better team than the Bears, and the fact that Arizona has a back-to-back road spot with a holiday in there, I just don't think they're going to get up for this game. The Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon might care, but I don't know if Kyler Murray cares.
I think there were some things said about Gannon from the Philly fan base that he probably has tacked up.
No, I think Gannon has a chip on his shoulder.
This is a big number to lay. Give me the points, because some of backdooring is like effort and energy down the stretch, and it's not exactly like the Eagles defense has been the dominant. So give me the points.
No, but I do think getting Avonte Maddox back really helps the secondary.
All right. It wasn't just the secondary though. It's not. I mean, the
linebackers have issues as well. But
like basically the player that stood out to me,
Zach Cunningham's back.
The player that stood out to me in the Eagles defense was Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, he's good. I think he could have a good game.
But that was I just typically there's more than one guy that stands out. So take the points. Saints. Sean will have his eyes on this matchup because the Saints and the Bucks are playing a big time NFC South matchup. Saints again, long rest off that loss. I just don't know what to think about this Saints team. Back-to-back road spot for them. They're heading to Tampa, where the Bucks are laying 2.5. Unfortunately, I think this is a loser leaves town game. Maybe there's a backdoor wild card. Bucks are minus 155. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Saints plus 130. 42.5 is the total. Not really sure what to think here.
Oh, not much to think about here. Give me Baker. Woke up feeling dangerous, Ryan. I mean, so you the the case for the Saints is, hey, they got some extra rest, but you got Derek Carr outdoors, Derek Carr on the road, Dennis Allen on the road. And I know the Saints have weirdly kind of been better on the road than not, but and Olave, I think Olave against the Bucs secondary is something else you could talk about, but Marshawn Lattimore is out. That's all we need to know. I mean, Ryan, we are going to be talking to Dick Puncher, I'm sure. Shout out to Mr. Puncher. I saw him earlier in the chat. We're going to be talking to him Sunday morning on our pregame show. He's going to be talking about Mike Evans anytime touchdown. And now we can actually play Mike Evans against the Saints because there's no Lattimore.
Will he be in the building?
Who?
Lattimore.
I
want assurances he won't be in the building. Whatever that man has, it's a lot of real estate in Mike Evans's head. So he could be sitting up in a suite and still have some impact. And I know I'm with you. I think that's one of the few notes here is, well, what if they don't have Lattimore to shut down Mike Evans or fight him or beat the shit out of him or whatever happens in these games.
What if they don't?
Yeah. Like if he's out there, that's the balance usually. That's why the Saints win these games usually. Usually it's that, hey, Mike Evans is really fucking good at football. Again, 1,025 yards in the season. Are you kidding me? Too bad we didn't take the touchdown over either. You remember what that was, Sean? Mike Evans touchdown.
Honestly, and if you're
7.5 touchdowns they made.
Now, and I guess maybe something else you would add to the case is that the Bucs went into New Orleans and beat the shit out of them. So maybe it would be a revenge game here for the Saints, but I think it just kind of speaks to the matchup issues for this team. Like, I don't know. I would be very surprised if the Saints team comes into Tampa Bay and gets a win. I just would. I know it's only a 3-point spread, but
2.5.
Oh, it's 2.5.
I'd rather it be 3.
No,
if we're being honest, I don't like the idea of laying the 2.5 here. Also, Tampa, one of the few public sides here, almost 80% of the tickets on the Bucs.
Oh, great.
Does that worry you? Baker and this Bucs team as a public side?
No, Baker with pressure is always tough, but I mean, I think they were a public side last week against the Jags, weren't they?
What is the angle? A little bit. What is the angle though? I do struggle to see the football reason as to why you're getting excited about the Saints.
I think it's the the Bucs secondary has certainly had some issues. Now, Jags couldn't take advantage of it, and they've been doing a good job of like hiding their issues on the back end, at least as of late.
I mean, this Saints team you can run against, I think, if you can have the threat to pass, and I think the Saints defense has been boasted.
So look at the Panthers only. I mean, that Panthers Bucs game is where you'd go back and you would look at like that kind of game flow for the Saints to get a win. Panthers lost by 3, but they were certainly in that game and had a chance to win. Or the Bucs losing to the Colts, stuff like that.
See, my thought is that the Saints have had 2 of the last 3 games for the Saints were against the Panthers and the Giants, and their defense looked much better than it does when it takes a step up and say plays the Rams or the Bucs.
Yeah, I mean, that Saints Rams game was 8 points, but that was not an 8-point game.
But I mean, in a way though, that kind of highlights the Saints. They sneak their way back in, and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell's going on?
But they're only getting 2.5. So the back door
I'm with
is
you. I'm with.
Close.
I also think Bucs win this game, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at the percentages here. So the Bucs' chances of making the playoffs is currently at, my eyes are failing me, Sean, 84%. 84% they make the 4 seed. So they cannot be a wild card. They have a 0% chance of being a wild card. And I believe if they win this game, they all but lock it in. Yeah. So scenarios for Atlanta, just to stay, Atlanta needs help. If Atlanta wins out and the Bucs win the division, they need help, but they can still make a wild card. For those Falcons fans out there that were worried. Yeah. So I guess we'll both do the work. The lay the 2.5 feels wrong, but we'll do it. Can't bet the Saints team anymore. The imprisonment of Jameis has gone too far. I will not stand. Last early game, Niners off the short week, got their ass beat too. They head to Washington. Oh boy, I had so many dynamic Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel stacks for this game lined up. Even a Sam Darnold option. Niners -13, -850 on the money line. Washington +575. 49.5 is the total. On one hand, they just got their ass beat. On the other hand, Brissett's in. And this team has looked pretty fucking good with Jacoby Brissett at the helm.
But the 49ers do blow out bad teams. I mean, that's certainly they do that.
But Brock Purdy has never had to come off a 4 interception game before.
Back-to-back neck stingers, or did he have a neck stinger? Because the way
is this concussion, another concussion?
No, but the way I mean, it might have been a benching. I mean, the way Shanahan talked to him, you don't have to explain to a guy, "Hey, you got a neck stinger, you're not going to play anymore." That's something the team physician tells you. Why did Shanahan tell him that he wasn't in? Do you play Brock Purdy because you've already secured the Super Bowl championship? Aren't you just risking potential injury for next year's Super Bowl?
This is a great bounce back spot for either. I mean, the best thing that can happen here is that
I'm really torn because on one hand, I love the Commanders getting 13 points as a home dog. On the other hand,
you have to
picking the 49ers ensured that they would lose to the Ravens last week, which was diabolical by me. But do I get off that bandwagon?
I think that there is all right. So what if he benches Purdy, puts Sam Darnold in, and he just lights up the Redskins because their secondary is so trash? That would be the ideal situation for me.
Well, that would kill his. I mean, not that there's anything left of the MVP, but that would certainly kill it here. And Jacoby Brissett, I don't know. Do you think Jacoby Brissett was good, Ryan, because they were planning on Sam Howell and then they threw Jacoby Brissett in, or is Jacoby Brissett just that much better? Is there something where, hey, coming in mid game, Jacoby Brissett with nothing to lose?
So the look ahead was 13.5. It moved down to 13. Brissett is, to me, now we've seen what we see in Howell. He's such a negative. He's such a detractor at times. And according to the film guys, he also misses the throw very often. Like that's a lot of the beef with Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Is he just not making the throw, which is odd because he doesn't seem to be afraid to make a mistake, but he's still afraid. He's making mistakes even though he's afraid to make mistakes. And so Brissett could have been the better quarterback the whole time. And so the idea that now a mentally like messed up Sam, this could be a legit like 3+ point upgrade. So I don't see how the line, the line moving the other way, whatever, it's a half point. I would think this is an upgrade. So I'm on the Commanders. I also think that the offense looked so much better passing the ball down the field, something that the Niners have had issues with. And so maybe this turns into a shootout. We're talking about like more Brock Purdy mistakes, because if we know one thing about anticipation throwing and things like that, confidence plays a part. So if he's lost his confidence and he's not willing to pull the trigger on those throws because he's seeing ghosts from last week, he's in trouble. If he realizes he's playing the Commanders and you just gotta throw the ball down the field, he should be fine. But I'm taking
Commanders defense is pretty bad, Ryan.
Agreed. But again, do you disagree? Do you not think his mind is not where it was 2 weeks ago, bro?
Scrambled.
So I don't care who he's playing against. I think any NFL defense can win against a broken mind.
All right,
it's very deep.
I'll take Washington plus 13.
Oh, what happened? I thought you were going to continue the
bet.
bet.
Right, you know what? Give me the 49ers. They already won the Super Bowl.
Sean, there's a chance the Eagles-Niners game this year could feature Sam Darnold. That would be pretty funny. Not even Trey Lance getting into the game.
Hey, have you guys signed up with Hall of Fame Bets? If not, what are you waiting for? Head over there to hofbets.com. Talk about these guys all the time, and for good reason. All the research you're doing for parlays, all the research you're doing for player props. Save yourself a bunch of time. My favorite button is the deep data button. Hit that. You get a bunch of great trends of how many times any sort of player has gone over, under, whatever stats you want to put in there. It just makes research way easier, and the expected probability calculator is really helpful. Like if you're firing off some parlays and you're not going in and checking like, hey, wait, is the sportsbook giving me a good price? Like they'll show you the true odds. Let's say it's plus 675. Then you look at the sportsbook, it's only like plus 400. Either find a new parlay or find a different sportsbook. Either way, Hall of Fame Bets is here to help you make the smarter choice, maximize your ROI on those parlays. Who doesn't love a good parlay? Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Hall of Fame Bets. Cool sound effect, Ryan.
Just everything's moving slow over here.
Okay.
I got a lot of tabs, got a lot of stuff going on. Doing like 15 fucking Pittsburgh. So now we're on to the afternoon slate. Again, reminder, we will be partying. Partying hard. We'll be hopefully taking party favors during the party. We'll be going live 12:30. Little lead into these games as we sweated the last games out. Although lately, Sean, the early games have been wrapping up early. NFL needs to step in and start calling more penalties. 105 on the West Coast. We'll be in full party mode for Pittsburgh and Seattle. I like this as a game that we're going to be focused in on live betting and live propping.
Oh, come on. This is too tempting.
Sean, should one of the games we play be bobbing for props? I'm just coming up with some fun party favorites.
Tape some some props on the different apples.
Yeah, it's like sports betting blackjack, but with bobbing for apples. Pittsburgh heads to Seattle, where the Seahawks are laying 3.5, minus 185 on the money line. Steelers plus 155. 41.5 is the total. The Seahawks fans would have loved the refs are terrorists t-shirt back in 2006 or whatever that year was, where they got completely hosed.
Fail Mary
in the Super Bowl.
Oh wait, did they get the call in the Fail Mary? I forget.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, I'm talking about the game. It was the first game I can remember where the refs were like a national story because it was so bad. Steelers here once again. Tomlin rallying the troops, one win away from securing yet another season above or equal to or above 500. There's probably a better way to say that.
We know he's gonna have a winning record, Ryan, which means he has to get to 9 wins. So they have 8 wins right now.
They have 8 wins right now.
Do they win at Seattle or do they win at Baltimore? Now Baltimore might be resting their starters, depending.
Oh well, we just discussed this earlier. If Baltimore wins this week, I think Pittsburgh might get the backups, but that doesn't secure the win. We've seen that kind of logic before.
True.
I mean, last year Green Bay, Detroit stands out to me.
Yeah.
So
especially in the division game, especially hated rivals.
I certainly also then look at this game and this matchup and wonder, well, as much as I don't think the Steelers are very good, I don't think the Seahawks are very good either. So why is this number 3.5?
Yeah, because it's Kenny Pickett on the road.
Is it 100% Kenny Pickett?
I'm hearing Kenny Pickett. Yeah.
Well, we were discussing this earlier in the week. Do you have to go back to Kenny Pickett? I thought you probably Kenny Pickett. Yes. Trubisky. Absolutely not.
Trubisky. No, fire that guy into the sun. It's Kenny Pickett with a short leash with Mason Rudolph right behind him. But yeah, I mean, I think the Steelers team can probably move the ball against them. I mean, TJ Watt versus Geno Smith. I'm always going to take TJ Watt. It's obviously a must win for both teams. You got 2 coaches who are great as dogs, Tomlin and Pete Carroll, but one is actually the dog in Pittsburgh. The one time I don't take the Steelers this year, and they blow out the Bengals. I'm not missing it this week. Give me the Steelers plus 3.5.
It is.
It's just how does this not a field goal game though?
It's a sandwich spot
for who?
Steelers. This is a weird spot. You got the divisional win, big outburst of points, emotional backup quarterback. Now Kenny Pickett comes in.
You go on the West Coast. I mean, it's never easy to win in Seattle.
You got Baltimore on deck. You're probably thinking the same thing that or they're thinking the same thing you just highlighted.
I think it would be more sandwichy, if that's a word, if the Steelers didn't need to win this game desperately.
What's the playoff scenario? Because Dick Puncher informing us if the Steelers do win this game, then the Bears getting into playoff contention's very dangerously close. Is the Steelers playoff picture? Let's see, they're out, right? They don't have a. Let's see if they lose.
If the Steelers win, their playoff chances go up to 24%. If they lose, it's down to 5%.
Okay.
But 24%, pretty solid there. If they win both games, 92% chance.
All right. So according to Unpredictable, 10% chance they end up with the 7 seed, 4% chance they end up with the 6 seed.
Yeah.
So 14%.
I'm seeing 13% chance overall to make it.
All right. So yeah,
but they need this
roughly
win.
the same.
They need this win.
They're also a team that probably has seen I just, here's the thing. When they have an outburst like they did last week, my default is to fade them the next week. And I really didn't want to be in a position to have to lay this with Seattle, but Seattle in playoff contention, could be an equally strange game as last week. I'll lay it. And I like to lay the 3.5 shot. It's fucking
yeah. Come on. You're never going to turn down an opportunity to lay 3.5.
I did just lay a 2.5. So I the minus sign is my friend. Cincinnati heads to Kansas City. This will be the marquee game during our party. Actually, I think the Pittsburgh game might be.
Yeah.
But Cincy, Kansas City's so broken. Who knows? Cincy on a back-to-back road spot here. And Sean, they are a close your eyes special.
Who? Cincy.
Wait, I didn't confirm this.
Probably right, because they were favored against the Steelers and they're catching points.
Well, admittingly I was extremely lazy in some of my prep this week, so I didn't do my normal verification of the close your eyes special, but I didn't have any marked down. So let's see.
Bengals lost by 23, and they were 3-point favorites. So yes, close your eyes special.
You're right. The dog favorite thing tricked me. So close your eyes special, Sean, on the air, 9-6 ATS once again, closing in on another winning season, just like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, it's like Mike Tomlin just always gets the win. I mean, the Chargers were a great example of the close your eyes special last week.
Oh, just sometimes you just got to realize.
I mean, and it had the new coach bump in there.
Church is for everyone, especially when the church is the close your eyes special. It's gross. Kansas City short week, and the petulant child behavior continues. I don't know if they know how to point the finger at themselves.
I mean, it started with that like weird. Everyone's gonna blame the refs for that Bills game.
Yep.
And it's just kind of spiraled. Like there's not a lot of accountability on this team. It's funny. You go through all these teams and you're trying to make a case for they're good, and you go, well, they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, they beat the Chiefs. It's like, wait, a lot of people they beat the Chiefs on their resume for why they're a good team. Maybe beating the Chiefs isn't that big of a deal anymore. Chiefs are 3-5 straight up their last 8 games. How can you have them laying 7 points? Yeah, they got Rashee Rice. Yeah, they got Travis Kelce. But this Chiefs team is incredibly tight. Now, the counter is this Bengals defense can be really bad. I mean, Mason Rudolph carved them up.
Big red flag.
But this is a bounce back spot for them, Ryan. This is the ultimate close your eyes special. I have it. I'm going to say this. I'm going to go out on a limb.
I hate that this is a close your eyes special.
Jamar Chase will play against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Do you have? Is this an official Sean Green injury?
According to my sources, Jamar Chase will be suiting up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Must-win game for the Bengals. He is a gamer. He will see the field. And I watched that entire or most of that Bengals Steelers game. I don't think Jake Browning is horrible. I mean, that game got out of hand. It was on the road, hostile environment. There was some play calling issues, but overall, I still think his ball placement, his composure is pretty good. And I think he's going to be able to hang around against this Chiefs team.
So the Eagles win against the Chiefs doesn't count as a good win anymore.
Not as much as in hindsight. No.
Yeah.
I mean, winning in Arrowhead used to mean something, but I don't know. Look at the teams that have beat them at home. Broncos, Raiders,
divisional stuff.
Yeah.
I tend, you mentioned this being a bounce back spot for Cincy. If this wasn't a close your eyes special, I think I probably would be talking myself into the bounce back spot for the Chiefs, but
Chiefs at last games at home, they lost to the Raiders. They lost to the Bills. They lost to the Eagles. I mean, they've lost 3 home games in a row. You have to go back to the the Dolphins. Oh no, that was neutral. They lost to the Broncos in Denver. They did last home win was Ryan Chiefs 31-17 October 22nd.
I mean, and there's also What was the beef last year that Joe Mixon talking a lot of shit about? When he did the celebration about the tiebreaker or whatever, the coin flip tiebreaker.
Coin flip.
Is any lingering emotions on that?
Yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow isn't there, but a lot of these guys have revenge on their mind.
He sits on the bench because he's a great teammate, Sean. How dare you bring that
They
up?
didn't like the way things ended in Kansas City last year. I think they got a massive chip on their shoulder. And again, this team has nothing to lose versus a team that's super tight, laying 7 points.
Yeah, no, I go to church every Sunday when available. It's only been available. This is the 16th availability of church.
Nice
this season in week 17. So nice sample size this year. Last up in the afternoon window, only 3 games. They jam 10 games down our throat early, Sean. God's eye is going to be very confused. We won't know what to do. We might have to quad box some of these crappy games. All right, Chargers, Broncos, last game in the late window. How we feeling about the stick man? Stick man against the Stidham. So this is a marquee matchup, boxing matchup. We should get the anyway. Denver -3. Russ was apparently informed that they're going to go in a different direction because if he gets hurt, he's very expensive. Do not break Russ.
But also, I mean, I don't. I'm fine with that decision for them, but isn't this some violation of like the collective bargaining agreement where they're basically making it known that like, hey, we're not playing you because we don't want to risk injury for a contract situation?
My thought is we're going to find out that this was some clever thing that agents came up with to get more guarantees for their player, that the teams realize that there's nothing illegal about saying, oh, well, it's too risky for us to play you now. You created a clause in your contract that introduces risk if we play you. So we're going to make the choice to not play you, which I agree with you, Sean. Like you would think that would be against the rules of some kind, but I'm guessing that there's not a ton bargained around these injury guarantees. And that's the problem. And so something that seemed like it was good for the player ends up hurting the player because it creates this thing in your contract that makes you.
But does it hurt him? I mean, also too, like, does he care? He's going to get paid.
Well, I mean, yeah, in the case of Russ, where he's locked in, he doesn't need a new contract. But imagine you needed a new contract.
That's true. Yeah,
you wanted to get on the field. I certainly think it wouldn't be like. I wonder if we're going to see something change with the way we handle these types of guarantees. This is I don't know how you handicap this one. I mean,
this is a pretty easy handicap for
Sean
me.
Payton. Better. I mean,
it's smoking about weed.
Is Russ worth 3.5 points over Jared Stidham? Because that's what the line move effectively was.
This is, I mean, you want to see a motivated effort. Sean Payton, ultimate fuck you move by benching Russell Wilson. And what better way to make Russell Wilson look like an idiot than by lighting it up against the Los Angeles Chargers? And then you also have the Chargers. Sure. Yeah. That was that first game. Hey, our special teams coach is our head coach now. We're going to show fuck you, Staley. We're good. But now you got Easton Stick on the road against the Broncos defense, which is competent. Now, granted, they did just lose to Bailey Zappi. And how do you have Easton Stick handicap compared to Bailey Zappi? But I think Sean Payton at the end of the day is a fairly smart head coach. So if he's putting Stidham in at this point, I still think he can win with Stidham, and they're a longer shot to make the playoffs, but they went out. Their percentage is like 20-25% chance of making the playoffs.
Do you think?
And they have at home against the Chargers and then the Raiders.
Yeah, they can definitely win.
And have you heard anything from the locker room or gotten any sense that the players don't like this?
Do you think? Well, here's the only thing that gives me pause is why didn't he make if this is going to make the team better. So let's say it's not about the injury clause. It has nothing to do with the injury clause. It just coincidentally is happening on the week that it needs to happen for the injury thing not to be.
What do you mean?
Or like, why are you arbitrarily choosing right now? Because if he was good enough to be better, to make your team better, you would have already gone to him.
Well, because they were winning games. They had a winning streak. They won a bunch of games.
How many have they lost in a row though?
They won against the Packers, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Vikings, the Browns, and then they lost at Texans. They beat the Chargers. They got destroyed by the Lions, and then they lost at home to the Patriots. he was itching to do this, but you can't do it if you're paying the quarterback all this money and they're winning games. Now that they've lost 2 in a row, it gives him a window to do what he always wanted to do. I mentioned,
so it has nothing to do with the injury guarantees.
I think
so. I don't mind that argument. It's just it's a little like that almost is.
I think there's 2 separate things working on here. One, I think they throughout this process, Sean Payton doesn't want Russell Wilson back next year. The only way now that they're at this point, the only way Russell Wilson is back is if he got injured and they owe him a bunch of money and they couldn't cut him. Now that they can bench him these last couple of games, they can cut him and they are going to cut him. And they're going to be fine. And he wanted Jarrett Stidham. They signed Jarrett Stidham day 1 of free agency. Sean Payton wanted Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
I like this spot a lot for Denver.
Yeah, my only concern is why now. Like, do you think Sean Payton was told like sit Russ down now?
I don't think he had to be told. I think he got the green light, and
that's what I mean. Like he was because why wouldn't I just keep coming back to why didn't he do this sooner?
Because they were winning games.
I think that doesn't strike me as something that would have stopped Sean Payton. That's all. And
so what is your theory then?
I don't know. I want to believe that, but what concerns me is that Jarrett Stidham hasn't beat Russ out the whole year, and that's why we haven't seen him. And now they're sitting Russ down to prove some point, and Stidham's going to come in and look like hot garbage.
Yeah,
so
that's
I want to lay the points, but I keep wondering in my head why he clearly doesn't give a fuck about Russ. Why was he waiting this long to make it happen? Do it after the Detroit game if it's really about it, like because he looked like shit. Then.
No, but I think they won so many games in a row. He had to give him 2 games.
But to your point, no one in the locker room is crying about this. So if Sean Payton's really a good coach, it seems like he maybe could have gotten this done earlier, even with the winning streak. You still got to lay the points though.
No, I mean I think you have 2 things going for you. You have Easton Stick going on the road at elevation in a hostile environment, and you have
a North Dakota kid.
Yeah, they play in a dome, and you have Sean Payton. Sean Payton really wants this to happen, so I think the team does. I think they get a little bump from not having Russell Wilson in there.
They can cut Russ next year, but
they're going to cut him in March.
They can't cut him in March. They cut him before June 1st. They take a massive hit on their cap.
Well, maybe they don't officially. Russell Wilson thinks he's going to be cut.
Okay, so if they wait till post June 1st, the dead cap money for next year goes from 84 million to 35 million.
Russell Wilson expects to be released by Broncos in March.
I mean, unless the information I'm looking at in terms of the like maybe it's one of those like it officially happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have to wait for whatever calendar stuff to happen. Otherwise it's 50 million more in dead cap. So where does Russ end up?
You know where Russ would like to go, where the lights a little brighter,
New York,
media a little bigger.
Is that what you're hypothesizing?
New York Giants, yeah.
Oh no. If there's one thing I've learned about Dable, if he has his way, he wants to mold some clay. He doesn't like clay that's been molded by another man. Give him a new Josh Allen. Sunday night football.
Where's the new Josh Allen coming from?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying he wants some clay to get his hands on and mold. That's why he was getting tickled by Tommy DeVito. Some fresh clay, some fresh undrafted clay,
some fresh mozzarella.
Brian Dable will not be on the Epstein list. That's for sure. Anyway, Sunday night, New Year's Eve. So I can't imagine a ton of people will be watching this one. Vikings, Packers. I guess there's some playoff implications here. Packers, a little bit of a back-to-back road spot, catching 1.5 in the spaceship, plus 105 on the money line. 46 is the total. Addison out. Hawkinson out.
Yeah, Hawkinson ACL, so he might not be starting next year.
How many more injury? I mean, Justin Jefferson there.
But Justin Jefferson is in a prime spot for a massive game, especially with Jair Alexander, who bunch of weird stuff going on even before that game against the Panthers, where he finally played. He has now been suspended. If you missed the clip, it's pretty funny. Basically, Jair Alexander, even though he wasn't a captain, decided to send himself out to make the call for the coin toss. and they won. The Packers won the coin toss, and every NFL team says defer because they want to start on defense first. He said defense. We want to defend first, which means technically. So how it works with the coin toss? If you win the coin toss, you have the choice in the first half, and then the other team takes the choice in the second half. So if you say defense in the first half, technically they could say, well, okay. And then in the second half, we'll be on offense. It's never, they always like somehow step in, and the refs actually don't let you do that. But hilarious. He's been suspended, which is crazy because you really need Jair Alexander in this game. Like if I'm a Packers fan, I'm fucking pissed at Matt LaFleur. It's like, yeah, dude, Jair Alexander is a bonehead, but we're trying to get into the playoffs, man. Like you got to let Jair Alexander play.
There's got to be more to the story.
No, clearly the guy's a pain in the ass and a weirdo, and there was weird stuff going on with his injury because they kept saying he was going to be back. I mean, if right now they have a 29% chance to make the playoffs. If they beat the Vikings, they got a 63% chance. What are you doing?
They just re-signed him to a contract too.
I know. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here. I mean, Jordan Love, do you really want to take him, a guy who's been struggling with the blitz?
Struggling with the position. Has had some real up and down moments. Nick Mullins, you could also be describing.
Well, but is it Nick Mullins? Because Nick Mullins and Jaron Hall are splitting snaps right now. Taping this on a Wednesday night. Mullins coming off a 4 interception game. I mean,
it's all the rave in the NFL.
This is so you're either having Ryan. Here's your choice: either Nick Mullins or Jaron Hall as a favorite, or Jordan Love on the road
against Brian Flores. That's the key element.
Yes, against the Brian Flores defense with Justin Jefferson going up against your defense without Jair Alexander.
Oh, I can't. I won't be on the Packers here.
I guess I'll go.
I certainly. I mean, look, the Dick Puncher maybe can tell us. But when you suspend a key player in a critical game, you risk situations.
Yeah. Well, LaFleur said, according to Dick Puncher, LaFleur said, "quote It's never just one thing," when referring to that incident and the suspension.
I mean, that's something a parent says about their kid. This is, I would say that at minimum it's a distraction, and at maximum it affects the way you can play defense, and especially when your defensive coordinator is catching a lot of shit lately for playing soft ass pussy defense that anyone can pick apart. And so hopefully it's not Jaron Hall, but if it's Mullins, I think you could see like Mullins in this game could have a nice.
Yeah. Every Packers fan I've heard from, once Joe Barry, their DC, run out of town, and now you're making him play another game without Jair Alexander when you finally get him back. I'm taking the Vikings. The more I think about it, the more I feel better about it.
Let's go.
I mean, I kind of hope it's Jaron Hall, so they have some design run stuff for him.
Oh, I don't. Jaron Hall might not be. I don't know if that's. I think what I like about Mullins is he understands where the ball needs to go and he fires it in there.
Well, he did throw 4 interceptions,
That's
so
fine.
I don't know how well
That's
he
fine.
understands that.
That's fine. I'd rather have that than Jaron Hall like giving them no chance.
Yeah,
that would be my take. And against the Joe Barry is going to give you everything. So Nick Mullins will know what to do with that. Again, Tommy DeVito, player of the fucking week against the Packers. Let's never forget.
Never forget.
Lock dog tease.
Yep. Time for the lock dog and tease course. Yeah, here we go. Make sure you come on out to the New Year's Eve party. Live stream starting 12:30 Pacific, youtube.com/sportsgambling podcast. And make sure you smash that subscribe button.
Smash!
Kramer, what do you got? Lock dog tease bonus lock.
You know, Sean, it's a tricky week this week. A lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Okay.
I haven't locked up a Thursday night all year. With your permission, I'm going to lock up this Browns team.
Okay.
By the water at home, breaking point of this Jets team. Lock number 2. number of these dogs are very appealing to me.
Dog.
But the one that stands out the most is Tennessee.
Oh,
Catching the points. I think, especially if we're getting Will Levis back, CJ Stroud returning into missing a couple weeks, laying a big number. So I'm going to take the points there. And I was told myself a couple weeks back, never again Will Levis as a favorite. Will Levis as a dog's okay though; it's safe. My dog this week. Oh boy, I don't think I really could possibly. I should have had New England last week, by the way. I can't possibly take Carolina this week for a second straight week either. So I'll let's get magical. Let's see what happens. Cincinnati Bengals. Chiefs are broken.
Okay.
Little drama last week of the season, and we will be on the air for this one. So maybe we have a fun live sweat. Do an irrational amount of money on the money line just for fun. Tease. A lot of sharp teases. You know what? I'm so confident in the Browns. I'm going to double dip -1.5.
Oh, look out.
Let's take the. Oh, you know what? Oh no. Yeah. I won't scratch the Browns. I was going to scratch it, but I won't scratch it. Let's also go. Oh, there's so many of these gross fucking numbers. Give me the Falcons up to 9. And give me the Arizona Cardinals up to 17.
All righty.
I've not been great teasing this year.
No. It's all right, Ryan. Okay. For my first lock.
I did tell you last week, Sean, that I heard one of our favorite touts give out a sweetheart teaser last week that involved the Bills, Eagles, and Chiefs. All 10-point favorites, all sweaty as fuck, and one of them lost. So.
Dog.
Ryan, you mentioned the Close Your Eyes special. Let's get our Close Your Eyes special community. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals.
Nice work, Sean.
7 points, way too much. I get it's a bounce back spot for the Chiefs, but it's also a bounce back spot for the Bengals. Oh man. And yeah, let's go Chicago Bears -3. Or do I go Tampa Bay? The thing that scares me about Tampa Bay is how many people are on them.
No, you don't have to be worried about that. It's just like the Browns.
All right. Tampa Bay -2.5. Love Baker at home. I also do love Chicago -3. I'll be betting that.
This is the gut handicapper's paradise.
Yeah.
A lot of numbers get in here that don't have shit to do with shit.
For my money line dog.
Oh, this is easy.
Is it?
I think so.
What is it easy for?
For you?
Yeah.
Oh, the Lions.
Lions are +210, but actually it would be better for the Eagles, I think, if the Cowboys won. I like what I've seen out of this Raiders team. Give me the Raiders.
Oh.
Raiders on the money line.
What does Antonio Pierce have to do to lock up the job this year?
Win this game. I mean, if he
it.
gets in the playoffs, he's definitely doing it. For my teas, give me the Rams to essentially a pick there. What else do I like here? Give me Cleveland -1.5. And last but not least, give me San Francisco down to 7. What could go wrong?
So if Kansas City loses out and the Raiders win out,
yeah. Tell me there's a chance, right?
I think they need some help in like the strength of schedule or whatever, but they have a 1% chance to win the division.
Let's go. All right. So for our Circa Millions, we got Cleveland -7.5. We got Tennessee +5. We got Cincy +7. Tampa Bay -2.5. What do we like as a consensus play? Denver,
Baltimore, or Denver.
Okay.
I'll let you call. We have a lot. We disagreed on a lot of games this week.
Baltimore -3. Lock it up.
Baltimore was almost a lock for me.
Yeah, Denver was almost a lock for me. I mean, but Easton Stick had some moments. I don't know. I'm sure I'll be betting on Denver. Hey, make sure you tune into our VSiN show Friday night, 9:00 Pacific, over at vsin.com or on YouTube TV. Make sure you check out the SGPN New Year's Eve spectacular. New Year's Eve day, kicking off 12:30 Pacific. Get in on the Patreon, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Taping the bonus episode tomorrow. You get the pick sheet. You get the Patreon pick'em, which is giving away some more holiday booze.
I noticed that there's a anonymous hippo in here right now watching us put our picks in live, Sean. So yeah,
Enjoy, anonymous hippo.
Oh,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Before we go, we have the Circa Millions or the Survivor, Circa Survivor, and I noticed that Circa, the great people over at Circa Sport, they put up the favorites that the 4 entries have left.
Okay,
everyone has Denver. Everyone has Indy. There's some Cleveland. There's some Chicago. There's some Minnesota. What would you be on?
I would take Denver.
Yeah.
I think Denver's close to a lock for me.
Denver at the 3.
Yeah.
I
mean, I guess if you have Cleveland, that I like that better. Obviously, yeah.
One entry has Cleveland.
Yeah, I think you play it.
Yeah.
Although, yeah.
My God, imagine knocking yourself out before everyone else.
But I guess it doesn't matter. I think it does go to the week. So,
and everyone's already entered.
Yeah. And they probably we'll find out they already chopped. We'll get Derek to get us in on if they've chopped or not. Maybe they won't release it till after. Either way, going to be a fun show Friday night.
I just love one of the entries names, Jack's Jags.
There you go.
Come on, they're not. He's destined to lose.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second money green. He's Ryan.
Good job, Sean.
Thank you. Kramer, let it ride.